So the next couple of videos on my channel are going to be back to school theme. And the one I'm going to share with you today is how to make some really big, inexpensive artwork for your dorm room or apartment or whatever. The videos in this series are going to range from home decor to healthy lunch options and maybe even like a fashiony one. We'll have to see about that. But I think they're going to be a lot of fun and I hope you guys enjoy. I'm not a student, but I do live in a really small apartment, and I think using really big art, especially when it's personalized, makes your apartment really fun. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need for this project is an engineer print, and basically all that is a large blown up photo that you can get done at Staples or Kinko's. I got mine done at Staples, and basically all I did was upload a photo to their website and picked the size, and yeah, that's it. So something to keep in mind about this form of printing is that it's technically intended to be used for architects or engineers, and it's made to be for like when they're printing blueprints for houses or line drawings or things like that. So when you get photos printed with this printing method, they aren't going to be perfect, they're going to be a little grainy, and you can only get them printed in black and white. And also the paper quality is super thin. I personally love how these photos turn out. They're a little bit imperfect, but I think that's what makes them interesting. And it's great because you can pick any photo you want and it's personal to you and no one else is going to have this art. So the next thing you're going to need for this project is foam board. The engineer print that I printed is 24 by 36, which is larger than the traditional foam board that they sell at Michael's or just any craft store. So what I did was I went to a specialty art supply store by my house and I got a huge foam board that was 30 by 40 and I just cut it down, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Keep in mind, if you don't want to have to cut your foam board, you can always just get the traditional 20 by 30 size at the normal craft store, and then you'll just have to cut your engineer print down a little bit. If you don't want to compromise the size of your print, you can always just get a big canvas and use that. It'll be a little bit heavier and maybe a little bit more expensive, but it'll look really cool. So cutting the foam board is super easy. All you're going to need is a box cutter or an X-Acto blade, a straight edge, and I'm using a piece of cardboard here, and a pencil. What you're going to do is you're going to lay out your engineer print down on the paper, and you're going to mark off the corners of your paper. From there, you're going to draw a line from corner to corner, and that's going to be your guide for cutting. So now that I'm outside, I'm using my cardboard as a guide and cutting through my foam board with my box cutter. And as you can see, I didn't cut all the way through it, so I folded it in half and finished the job with the box cutter while it was standing up. Cool, so now you have your foam board at the appropriate size that you need for your project, and you're going to paint the edges. So this is an optional step, but I think it really improves the quality of the project. I think it makes it look a little bit more finished and fun, and you can paint the edges any color you want. I recommend using an acrylic paint, and just keep in mind that you're probably going to have to do 2 coats on this part, and it's going to be a little bit time consuming because you need to wait for each side to dry before you can flip it over and paint the other side. Okay guys, now we're on the home stretch with this project, and we're going to adhere our photo to our foam board. Make sure when you're spraying your spray adhesive that you're doing it either outside or in a super well ventilated area, and make sure you protect the floor around your project. So you're going to make sure you shake it up before you spray it, and spray it over the entire piece of foam board first. For this next step, it helps if you have a second pair of hands, because it can get a little dicey, but it's easy if there are 2 people. So you're going to have one person hold one edge of your photo and the other person hold the other edge, and you're going to carefully align the 2 corners of your photo with the 2 corners of your foam board and carefully smooth it down. And you can use either a piece of the foam core like we did to smooth out the air bubbles, or even like a credit card or a ruler, but you're basically going to start from one end and carefully smooth out the photo until you get to the top of the project. To hang this on the wall, I highly recommend command strips. I've used these for years in my apartments that I've lived in, and they are amazing. I've never had a problem with them falling off the wall or not being able to hold the weight of my photo if they're done correctly. When you're using command strips, you need to make sure that you clean your wall with rubbing alcohol and make sure it dries completely before you try to put your project onto the wall. Foam board is super light, so you're just going to need 2 pieces, well 4 because 2 of them click together, on the top of the foam board, and you're going to take off the little backing and position it onto your wall and hold it up there for 30 seconds. And after that, you're done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave any questions you have about this project in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next Monday with my next back to school video. Bye!